My 39F bio son, 18 meters, wants to reach out to me, but I'm embarrassed about my life. What can I do? I was raped in my early 20s and my son resulted from that. I didn't want an abortion, so I carried him, then had an open adoption. Since I was so young, I didn't feel like I could raise him, so he went to a loving home, and I told them I'd reach out when I felt in a better place mentally. It never happened. The assault took a much larger toll on me than I thought it would. I'd say within the last year have I finally gotten my mental health on track, but I'm basically a mid-20s person in my nearly 40s. It was a rough time. His parents evidently told him about me not feeling ready to reach out yet. But they reached out to me and wanted to know if I'd chat with him. So we've been texting, and he's telling me of all these wonderful experiences he got to have as a child that he wouldn't have with me. He seems so excited to meet him, and I'm just scared. It sounds like he has me built up in his head to the point I'm just going to let him down. And I really don't want that. It goes as far as he thinks his dad and I just had a fling when we were young. I just don't know what to do. I think it is probably more important to him to feel like you are proud of him and not vice versa. Which it sounds like you are. Be yourself. Be honest. And tell him how great you think he is. He's living the better life you wanted for him. Is there a way you can talk to a professional about this? Maybe talk to the parents before. This sounds way over relationship advice's pay grade. There are a ton of things to take into consideration, and chatting with the right people would be the most advisable thing. He wants only to know you, not what you do or did. He is looking to build self-understanding through meeting you. Be kind to yourself in this. Go in with an open mind if you can. Good luck. Just tell him you are happy he was raised by people that made him happy. Also, you were too young to be a mom. Talk to his adoptive parents and see how much they know about the conception. Hugs. I was also raped and had a child with my rapist. Good on you for recognizing that the child is innocent in all of this, which is what you should remind yourself of when you meet him for the first time. I highly doubt he'll judge you and your life decisions. Whatever they are, he's eager to meet you. As far as telling him the truth about how he came up, I'd wait. 18 is still too young. Unless he's incredibly mature. As someone who has an absent parent, there isn't any expectation, just wonder who you are, what do you like, are we similar? Things like that. If you want that, go for it. I know at least on his end he just wants to know instead of wonder. Don't put any expectations on it. Go and experience the child you have for the glory of who they are. Don't let your own falters get in the way of this kid's life. Let them have a sense of closure. Keep your own emotions at bay. I'm adopted. I can only speak on what he could possibly be feeling. I'm 39. I managed to find my bio parents in Zimbabwe 3 years ago. Was the best and worst experience of my life. But I feel complete. Regardless of how your life is. He's old enough to understand. Please give him that chance to get to know you. It'll be the best thing you did. He won't be embarrassed. His main concern is getting to know his bio mom. XXX coming from the heart. He's probably excited to know someone and have an idea of who he comes from. Maybe if you form a good bond, you can tell him one day and he can understand. I think it's sweet he wants to know you. Don't be so hard on yourself and take it easy. Be kind to him. That's all he needs and wants from you. Have your answers ready and keep them as vague as you can. Something like, I'm not ready to talk about that time in my life. I was not in a good place and I wanted what was best for you. I am so glad your parents love you the way they do. I do believe that most adopted children place some more importance on the biology of their origins than non-adopted children. And he is still young. If possible, I wouldn't tell him about his father until he is at least 21 or even better 25. I don't want him to go down the rabbit hole of, my dad was a RPIST. I am biologically 50% rapist. It's not a rational thought, of course. Behavior is not something that is genetically encoded. But these thoughts come up when you have been wondering what your bio-parents are like for a decade or more. You don't have to explain in detail unless you want to. You could just say, I became pregnant unexpectedly when I was young and I was in no position to care for you. It was very difficult to give you up. But I'm so glad you grew up with such wonderful parents. If he has questions, just ask what you're comfortable with. If he knows about the rape or if you feel the need to tell him, make sure you tell him you cared too much about him to abort. So you chose adoption. I'm sure it'll be an emotional conversation. But if you can't be honest or redirect, try to be gentle. I'm sorry this happened and had such a huge effect on your life. My situation wasn't the same. But it took me decades as well to work through and past it. You made the most selfless choice. Thank you. Hugs. Best wishes on your meeting. So what are you going to answer about who his dad is? What if he wants to get to know him? Prepare yourself for questions about your relationship. The parents clearly don't know the circumstances and I would reach out to them. Keep redirecting your answers so he talks about himself and say you are proud of him. But be ready with distraction answers. It is okay not to meet him in person. You can keep it brief and keep to your boundaries if you meet online, for example. I might take a friend with you. If you are scared, it is okay to be scared and say you are not ready. You can give him a photo and a potted life story of you growing up, as that will create a connection. You don't have to include details about your adult life, boundaries and all that. I hope you're amazed at how well this goes. Just take it slow and easy, and only offer information that is asked for. He may not be quite ready to learn the whole truth, but in the end, honesty is still the best policy. Every child wants to know who their mom is. I think he's going to be pretty happy to know you. Oh sweetheart, a good therapist can help you with this pain. You are worthy of his love and admiration. How incredibly brave you were to bring him to term and find a safe and loving family for him. How brave you were to think of him above yourself. Oh honey, please be kind to yourself. This wasn't your fault and you did the absolute best that you could for him. You have nothing to be ashamed of. Holding these feelings in, bottling them up and hiding them away will only hurt you. I know they feel so big that you won't survive, but I promise you that you will. You are strong enough to face them. You are strong enough to feel them. You deserve a soft life full of love and compassion, especially from yourself. I'm sending you the biggest hug. Heart. Perhaps the joy of meeting his biological mother would be enough of an experience to forego any discussion of how he came to be born. Focus the discussion on you and your son exclusively. Ask about things you may have in common. If he asks, defer to it being a time you can't talk about right now. Have boundaries that protect both of you. You sound like a wonderfully selfless person. Many wouldn't have done what you did and you should feel so proud of yourself for that. I'm sorry I don't have any solid advice other than have some faith in yourself. You've survived awful trauma and put your son first. I think you're amazing. First of all, congratulations on your healing journey. This is a thing you should be really proud of. Some people never get to overcome this kind of things and you managed to get back on your track. You might not have played a role as his mom, but you're a person on your own. Also, you made the good decision. He's happy. And this is also because of your decision to give him up for adoption. Now, you don't have to have a relationship with him if you don't want to. But don't deny it to yourself just because you're scared. Your fear means you care about him. And his excitement means the same. And like other Redditors have said, you don't have to make him proud, and it looks like you're already proud of him. Get to know him. I'm fully adopted, but know my bio dad and his wife, aka my stepmom. Her son was a result of assault. She went through so much. Lots of mediation, therapy, but she loves him. It's not the kid's fault. And as an adopted child, I wanted to know my bio mom, bio family more than anything it's gonna be. Okay, just take it slow.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.